Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. We are back. The Hurdle over here on the Executives of Fantasy Football YouTube channel and Player Profiler itself on YouTube. The last week of June. And you know what, Maddie? One of my favorite things is when that redraft season starts, and that is the first week of July. For me, I believe that first week of July is when the ball starts rolling, the people start coming back, Scott Fishbowl kicks off, and all of a sudden, it's time. But it's Tuesday right now. Matty Kiwoom, how we doing?
We're right there, man. We're right there knocking on that redraft door. And at the end of the day, if you're a guy my age, 36 years old, you got into fantasy football ripping the redraft streets. Dynasty, that becoming a sicko in the game, that's an evolution. But immediately it's that redraft drug that gets you hooked. So I'm always gonna love me some redraft.
I was going to love me some redraft. So we have a special for you today. And if you haven't already read the title, looked at the thumbnail, tapped in, tuned in, click that like button, click subscribe, or maybe clicked yourself on a little bit of timestamp, you can officially look at that clock, and that clock says 1:25. The draft is beginning right here, right now. We're going to be doing a 12-team, one quarterback, seasonal mock draft, PPR style right here. Maddie is picking from the 3 spot. I'll be at the 10 spot, and we're going to simulate all these other spots. So hopefully these sleeper bots don't screw us completely, but we're about to run ourselves through a 2024 seasonal mock draft. Matty Kiwoom, I'm going to click that button.
Let's do it, baby.
All right. Christian McCaffrey goes with the board first, 101 overall, followed by the Tyreek Hill at 102. Matty Kiwoom is on the board here at 103.
So I'm going with the difference maker, CD Lamb in redraft. I would just go with the certainty of Dak Prescott.
Following up is Jefferson and Chase. Bijan Robinson goes 6th overall, followed by Puka Nacua, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Breece Hall. So I'm sitting here at the 10. And this is probably a spot I shouldn't have picked because maybe it is a good spot because I think this is kind of a tier, I would say.
Yeah, there's one guy that's actually I'm pretty okay taking here, and I'm shocked, but it's the redraft. That's why.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go ahead and take the potential of Christian McCaffrey reincarnate. I know he has David Montgomery, but you guys remember Christian McCaffrey had a couple of guys in Carolina that could run that damn ball pretty good too. So Marvin Harrison Jr. goes off 111. AJ Brown goes 112. Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams, back to me at the 203. Do I go double running back here with Saquon available on the board? A couple of receivers. This is an area that we've had a lot of conversations I've had with Alex about, is London worth this value? Is Adams worth it right here? Garrett Wilson slipped. Chris Olave, is he valuable right here? I think you're getting a consistency out of 1,000 to 1,200 yard season out of him with potential more upside. You're not going quarterback. I'm not going tight end. I think I have to just go with one of my dudes here. And I think Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, it comes down to that conversation that we had during when they were rookies. Who do you want? Who are you betting on to stay healthy? Last year, the Jets weren't healthy. Last year, Rodgers wasn't healthy, but I think Rodgers will be healthy this year. I got to lean Garrett Wilson here at the 203. Chris Olave goes 204. Sam Laporta 205. Devontae Adams 26. Barkley, London, A-Chain, and I'm going to hand this thing off to Matty Kiwoom so he can take us through this corner.
This is a big crossroads here. I'm going to be a guy that goes late QB, probably late tight end, but Travis Kelce sitting there is enticing. In a redraft format, Lamb and Kelce is a bit of a barrage. I'm not big on ETN here. I don't like going second round running back. I'm a little bit more confident in Jacobs according to the sleeper ADP, but I don't want to do that either. I could go for the home run pick, in my opinion, and I'm going to. And I'm going to go with Malik Neighbors here in the second and kind of buck the trend of the ADP, because I just think that we're looking at projections now with Lamb. With Neighbors in rookie year, and the conservative ones come in at about 120. Cody, if you're going to tell me conservatively 120, the ceiling of 140, like that guy is going to smash with the skill set. So now I've set my double dragons, as I like to call it. And here, the value, I can't help it. I am going to go Travis Kelce. Now I think I have a difference maker in a 1-year sample size. And right now, Lamb, Malik Neighbors, and Travis Kelce is that base that I like to do in redraft. These guys that can come out and absolutely light the scoreboard on fire.
After you go Kelce, which it feels a little early, but it also feels just right. It's not premium here. Diggs goes 3-4, Samuel 3-5, Nico 3-6, DJ Moore 3-7. You're seeing a run on receivers. Josh Jacobs 3-8. Mike Evans goes up the board here at 3-09. I have Jahmyr Gibbs and Garrett Wilson. Both the teams on the turn are split with one running back, one receiver. I'm not ready to click that quarterback button. Only Josh Allen's at the board at 211. I'm not really happy with any of the running backs that are around this area. I think I'm going to go ahead and push that wide receiver button, and it's not going to be one of the high-end guys that are best available. It's going to be a guy that's a little bit further down and a guy that I think is teed up for an explosive season with a new offensive coordinator. His name is DK Metcalf here at the 310.
Oh.
The turn goes.
Waddle. I like that. That's interesting. I don't know if I would be able to do that.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's Waddle and Pittman were those two guys at the top. So Hurts goes 311, Pacheco 312, and then Pittman and Waddle, the aforementioned, go right there at the 4-1, 4-2. Now, at the beginning of the fourth, the best players available on my board, not my board, but as far as ADP goes, it's Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Rashad White, CJ Stroud. So 3 quarterbacks. They're trying to tell me I needed to go quarterback here. In one QB, I'm probably going to lean away from the Mahomes Stroud situation. Lamar, I think, is an interesting piece here, but again, I'm not keen on doing it right here. I think there's other guys out there that I would rather. I'm not going to table talk, but there's other guys out there that I might have a little more interest in. So I'm going to go ahead and I think double dip back into the wide receiver pool. So I got Wilson and Metcalf. I think this is a tough pick here. I'm picking between Zay and Devonta Smith, and I think Devonta Smith is good enough to be a 1 right now, but Zay is the number 1 right now. So I'm going to go Zay Flowers and give me my third receiver, and then we get that run on quarterbacks and tight ends. Damn it, McBride. CJ Stroud goes 4-4, Lamar Jackson 4-5, McBride 4-6, Devonta Smith goes there at 4-7, Mahomes 4-8. So Matty does not get his Mahomes Kelce stack, and then Mark Andrews goes at 4-9.
Player falls to me that I'm pretty excited about. Hoping that his efficiency metrics go up this year with the improvements to the interior of the offensive line. Rashad White, again, not much competition brought in. He should tout the rock quite a bit for the Buccaneers, so I'm happy with that. Ken Walker, though, comes off at the turn, and your boy's tilting. Damn it! I wanted both in a greedy world. Lose out on Ken Walker. That's okay. I'm going to have to regroup a little bit here. That was going to be my pick. But that's okay. I got my anchor running back. I like Mixon this year, but I don't know if round 5 is enough of a discount given the age. I'm really nervous on Tank Dell. Keenan Allen seems like an okay bet, but I'm going for upside here. So give me George Pickens for Pittsburgh, guy that could take this leap. And I think with the safety net that I've set up for myself with my first 4 picks, I can swing for the fences a little bit here in 5.
You know, I was watching Kincaid. I actually was debating between Kincaid when I took Flowers at 4-3. That might be a mistake to come back and bite me. It's kind of something I'm regretting right now. Pickens was on my watch list coming into this round. These running backs that I did not want, James Cook, Mixon, Aaron Jones, come off the board. So I'm cool with that. And now is when I get my quarterback. I know Hurts is there, but there is this guy at the 12 that has a player that is attached to my quarterback, and my quarterback is Anthony Richardson in 1 QB. We're doing the damn thing here at the 5'10". James Conner, Kamara go at 5'11", 5'12". We see Higgins at 6'1", Kittle at 6'2". So a little bit of a 5'1" all the way to 6'2" before you get that next tight end. It always feels like Kittle is like pushed out of that conversation, whether it's the difference between tier 1 and tier 2, or the difference between tier 2 and tier 3. Like, he just gets pushed into the next conversation every single time. He never gets grouped in, yet he continues to give us a lot of those bigger games during the season. Here at the 6-3, I now have 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 3 receivers. Running back is interesting, not really a ton. I could get the Montgomery, Gibbs, no, I'm good there.
That's rich.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to do something I don't usually do. I like the price tag on this player right now. I don't mind it. His ADP 71.2, and I don't love the player, but the contract came out, and the contract's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to push his ADP up, I believe, and he should be up into that next conversation. He should be up into that 5th round conversation here come August. And that's going to be Ramondre Stevenson at the running back position.
Interesting. Ramondre, yeah, the Ramondre contract now makes him even more valuable, of course, in the dynasty sense, because you have the understanding. But he's always been a nice pick here in redraft, because if he can stay healthy, if he can stay on the field, he is going to be a focal point of a growing offense, of an offense that would desperately need guys like Ramondre and Antonio Gibson really kind of helping out that passing game from the backfield. Gets to me now, and now I think I could start making some swings here. I'm okay bucking some ADP trends here to start painting the picture that I'm looking for. In terms of running back, it's this guy I've been touting from the rooftops all throughout the redraft season. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in now. Make sure I do not lose him. Najee Harris. I got the Pickens Najee Harris stack, which is unconventional one, but I just think the big playability of Pickens and the workhorse upside of Najee should not really be too detrimental to one another. I think they could both happen. And now I'm back up at the clock here, and there's a couple of players that come to mind. Quarterback's definitely on the table for me. It would be a long run back. We're looking at a Purdy or Caleb Williams. And I think that in redraft, it is important to have some upside at quarterback. In my experience, the wins you get in redraft leagues, especially your casual leagues, the fun leagues that we all in, our home leagues, you got to have difference makers on the margin. You got to have these guys you have to have quarterbacks that can put up 25 and tight ends that can do it. So I'm going to go ahead and take Kyler Murray here and get my Konami code quarterback. Here in was this round 7. I'm okay with that.
I've gotten completely bing, bang, bong sniped left and right here. I love me some Godwin. I love me some Pollard. Jay Reed was in my queue. Bowers was a debatable tight end after I got past Kincaid. I think that's a sound strategy. Getting Brock Bowers here in the late 7th round, but I miss. And I think I'm going to go back to running back here as I don't love the depth. I want to start adding some backs. And I just don't love the next couple of rounds of running back. So I'm going to take one of the last guys I think that holds a strong value on day 1. That's Zamir White.
Good pick.
Caleb goes 7-11. Worthy 7-12. Wasn't looking at those guys. Hopkins and Deontay Johnson 8-1, 8-2. Brings it back to me. I'm now a little bit more balanced. As far as the tight end position goes, it's Njoku. It's Ferguson. Goddard. I think that's probably an angle I'd like to go. I did not take Smith, which is okay. I'm going to take Goddard. I thought I had Devonta Smith for a second. I'm not. I don't. So I've Goddard here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that last position of need, which is Dallas Goedert at the 8-3.
All right. So now with this swing pick here, I need to tap the meat and the potatoes here. I need to get with the receivers and the running back rooms. I need to add, because I've gone quarterback and I've gone tight end. So now I really cannot look at those positions for a long time. So I'll just be looking at running back and receiver. Do I want to go with someone young, someone old? I'm going to go Jonathan Brooks here, and I'm going to completely fade Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren will be on the board there for Najee Harris rosterers, but I'm not going to play scared. I'm going for the big bucks here. So I'm going to go ahead and fade the backup. I'm going to put my eggs in the Najee Harris basket in this mock here and take Jonathan Brooks, so I can now have some upside with my running back 3. And, Javonte slips. Javonte's a pick here that I'll absolutely be looking out for. I think that in redraft formats, he's a player that I like. In Dynasty, I'm way more nervous about him. But in redraft, I think he's going to get some starts out the gate. I think he's going to tote the rock quite a bit for the Broncos. But here with the upside play and the lack of receivers, look at all the blue all throughout. And I'm one of the least roster receivers here. So I'm going to go to one of my old favorites, Christian Watson. Again, I got some safe floor with CeeDee Lamb and what I think is a floor with Neighbors. And now I have some massive swing for the fences with Watson and Pickens.
I was wondering if you were going to go receiver there because I was like, you're about to get dry if you don't.
Yes. Well, I mean, look at all this blue, dude. I'm losing all this blue.
Yeah. It's just raining. So we had Javonte go right after you, Zach Moss, a couple tight ends. Matty has Kelsey. I got Goddard at tight end here. I'm kind of looking a receiver, but it's kind of young. JMO is interesting. As my wide receiver 4, I get nervous about it. I do have Jahmyr Gibbs. Adonai Mitchell. Then I really got to scroll down to get to a guy I might want. But that's going to potentially leave me next round. I think I'm going to just take the rookie in Benson at the running back position and bet on that offense being a good offense and potentially, getting those goal line carries and then potentially like getting to a point where he's splitting or getting the alpha role with the James Conner. I don't know what's left in James Conner's tank. I still think he's a fine back, but I'm going to take that, like you said, upside in the potential of what he brings to the table. And then at the comeback here, we had Singletary, Schultz, Goff, and Dobbs go at the 10-2. Now I have to go back to the receiver. Well, as you were talking about, I can't go another 15 picks without a receiver. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I'm strictly looking at Jameson. If this was best ball, I would already click that button like 3 rounds ago. In seasonal, I can't go back to Lockett because I have DK. I've heard things about Khalil Shakir in Buffalo that make me want to believe and trust that process. I'm really nervous about it because I love Keon Coleman. I'm going to do it. I'm going to click the Khalil Shakir button because of targets. I think Kincaid's going to be great this year. But again, we're talking about my receiver 4, and I think I'm going to get a couple more guys. I know this is only 12 rounds today, but I think I'm going to get a couple more guys that I can use as assets during the season. I think Shakir's going to be a 80-plus targeted receiver, so I think it'll be fine. Not excited
I really like
about
that.
It, though.
But you don't have to be excited for these picks. These picks here in round 10, it's already getting sour. What I love, though, I love that Benson pick. The Benson pick is so nice because with this strategy is your running back 4. So you have 3 guys that you're theoretically going to be going to battle with, and you don't have to have – you can have patience with a guy like that, even in redraft, which I think is key. I just learned my number 1 lesson of the redrafts. I'm glad I've started early, right, Cody? We started pretty damn early. But I just learned my first lesson. I am not going to be selecting a quarterback before round 10 any longer because Jaden Daniels sitting there with Justin Herbert feels like I would rather have had that instead of gone Kyler Murray. I could have gone Calvin Ridley, Chris Godwin, Jaden Reed. All of those picks would have been way better for this build. So I've learned my first lesson, but I will take this present that has fallen to me, Brian Robinson. I think Brian Robinson has sneaky upside. We keep hearing in OTAs that he's actually making plays in the passing game. And without Antonio Gibson there, if Austin Eckler's not healthy, I think Brian Robinson has some unlock upside that we haven't seen yet. So again, getting him at my running back 4, that's kind of set the base of my running back stable. And I'll probably have to now start taking a whole bunch of lottery tickets on receiver. But yeah, still seeing Jaden Daniels in round 11 is a real bucket of cold water on the old dome piece because that's a wake-up call. I wish I could have waited. A receiver there in round 7 would make this team a hell of a lot better with Jaden Daniels in round 11. But that's why we do these things. There's Mike Williams. Never, no way. I'll take a shot on the first round wide receiver, Xavier Leggett here. Again, shooting for upside here at the wide receiver position. But I'm learning a pretty key lesson in this first redraft.
Zeke, Corum, Daniels, Justin Herbert. I mean, this round 11 is interesting. My queue had 3 of those guys in it. Now it's full of running backs. First off, I'm going to take my favorite receiver in the draft as far as being pro ready. I think Roman Wilson steps into Pittsburgh as long as they don't trade for Brandon Ayuk, and I think he dominates the target share. next to George Pickens, your boy. So we've kind of destroyed the Pittsburgh thing. Russell Wilson still available. That's Roman Wilson right there at the 11-10. Over that corner, we see Charbonnet, Downs, Kmet, Freiermuth go off the board. And with my final pick here at the 12:03, I have 5 receivers. I got 4 running backs. I got 1 tight end. I got 1 quarterback. I kind of want to go receiver here, but this tier is all running backs. And I got 3 guys on the board right here that I have in my queue. And I'm just going to be straight because Maddie's got 1 pick left and we're drafting against a bunch of bots. I got Jalen Wright. I got Ty Chandler. And I put J.K. Dobbins in the queue because I wanted to have a conversation because I assumed I wasn't going to pick him and you're probably not going to pick him. And I wanted to have that conversation at the end. So we'll see if we need to have that one or not. But those are 3 guys I have in my queue right now, all ahead of the next best receiver who I probably have is like Polk or Dotson. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the string on Jalen Wright.
That's a good spot there for him to go.
Damn, Dobbins goes to the 12-6. Holy shit. I did not expect him to go there. I expected him to be next round.
I'm not taking Dobbins. He's going to have to fall to round 15 for me. It's going to be an absolute slip. I don't see the point here. Kamani Vidal's still on the board. I'd rather have Vidal.
The question is, did you see the post on X the other day about, God dang, I got to find it. You can make your pick. I'll explain it to you afterwards.
All right. Well, this is a great spot here for running backs. I like, the ability to go Gibson late, Kendre Miller, Ty Chandler, Rico Dowdle. All of these guys have some place here. So what I've kind of come away with, I don't think I'm going to go running back. I think Najee sitting there around 6 is going to be the running back I'll build around. Going into a season, if my team here was Najee, Brooks, Robinson, and then I went ahead and took Rico Dowdle, Kendre Miller, and I was
you got Rashad White there too.
No, but I was saying if I didn't take Rashad White, I could have went Cooper Kupp. I could have got Roma Dunze. I could have added to this receiver room, and then I wouldn't be looking at Gabe Davis as another just upside kind of Hail Mary throw. I don't love that. I like kind of the stability of going running back here. I like the Jalen Polk possibility, but I think just for this team build, the corner I kind of painted myself into, I got to go Gabe Davis.
There it is. The final pick of the draft. I also had Kendre in the queue. Not like the queue for that pick, but like as far as coming around to round 13. Kendre goes 12-11 here. You probably would have taken Kendre there. I'm assuming if he makes it back to you in the 13th. The other one I had was Ty Chandler, who's still available. The Dobbins thing, though, came from Daniel Jeremiah's Move the Sticks pod. He said, if you're in fantasy drafts, draft J.K. Dobbins. And he, of course, covers the Chargers, throughout the preseason and does their games and stuff. So I just thought that was interesting. He kind of brought it up.
For sure.
I don't know. I think it's
he can look as good as he wants. His legs keep breaking.
Yeah, that's the one thing. And but he did spend his season last year with Aaron Rodgers. So maybe old Rajina taught him a couple of the old ayahuasca tricks.
Yeah, the ayahuasca trick saved them about 4 snaps in the NFL last year.
Hey now. I think it was 3. Anyway, here we go. Seasonal mock draft, 1 QB, PPR. We just did it for you guys in a mere 23 minutes and 34 seconds. And here's your recap. I got Jahmyr Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, Zay Flowers, Anthony Richardson, Ramondre Stevenson, Zamir White, Dallas Goedert, Trey Benson, Khalil Shakir, Roman Wilson, and Jalen Wright. My initial first thought, I have one thought about this team. And then as I think I made the mistake with Zay Flowers. I think I might have gone a different direction with Zay, potentially going Kincaid. And then I went too heavy running back. I feel like down the stretch, I would have rather hit a receiver with either that 6'3 or that 7'10, but I don't know who I would have went. So 6'3, I had McLaurin available. I had Kirk, I had Hollywood Brown. I feel like I might feel better about this build had I been able to snatch one of those receivers instead of Stevenson potentially. And then I can hammer the running backs because I love the Jalen Wrights. I love the Bensons. I might have liked a Corum instead of a Khalil Shakir. I like Ty Chandler. Like I like a lot of these running backs throughout the bottom half of this draft. So that might be one pivot I would make is potentially going Kincaid there at the 4-3, maybe a receiver where I went Stevenson and then pounded running backs the rest of the way. How about you?
So I went CD Lamb, Malik Neighbors, Travis Kelce, Rashad White, George Pickens, Najee Harris, Kyler Murray, Jonathan Brooks, Christian Watson, Brian Robinson, Xavier Legette, and then Gabe Davis. Again, my biggest takeaway was I should not go Kyler Murray in the 7th when I can go Jaden Daniels in the 10, 11. It just feels like nice arbitrage and a huge difference in terms of your overall output of fantasy points per week, which is what we're looking for in redraft. And the other thing, even though I believe George Pickens and Najee Harris can both have successful years at ADP, I don't think I like the idea of putting them back to back here. One shit fest, right? One defensive slug them out 10-3 game in the fantasy playoffs, and I could lose my 5th and 6th pick. Feels too risky. When I kind of look at it overall, I'd rather just go one or the other, even though I do both. I think they could both be successful, but it just feels kind of gross. So I don't think I would do that again.
He's Matty Kiwoom. I'm Cody Carpentier. We are the Executives. You can find us over at the Executives of Fantasy Football YouTube channel. You can follow Matty at Matty Kiwoom on Twitter. You can follow me at Cody Carpentier on Twitter. We do have some announcements coming in the next, 20, 25, 30 days, something like that. So stay tuned in, stay tapped in, and make sure you're following at Cody Carpentier, at Matty Kiwoom. This week, I'll be boots on the ground down in Jacksonville for the Rivals 5-Star Challenge. You can stay tapped in, like I said, on Twitter. Be at the SEC Media Days. We'll be boots on the ground on some training camps. Matty's going to be grinding away as we get through the redraft season, getting you guys better information like this right here. Lamb, Neighbors, Kelce. I mean, come on, we're getting Najee in the 6th round. These are some strong redraft teams. So stay tuned in, stay tapped in. Click that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. We appreciate you. We love you, and we'll be back next time.
Peace.